I know, you're sick of me, right? You're sick of me making videos. This is something I found recently, and it's really, really bothering me, and, I wanted to make a video on the topic because I think it's very important. It's about blood donation and bone marrow, registries. Um, if you go to the American Red Cross site, which is, you can do either, apheresis, I think is what it's called, which is where they filter, they take out your blood and filter part out and then put the rest in. And you can donate blood, and their stipulation, they have nothing based on Lyme, but their stipulation for chronic illness says the following, and I will put the information in the box so you can go and read the links for yourself. The stipulation under the eligibility requirements for the donation of blood or platelets to the American Red Cross states, most chronic illnesses are acceptable as long as you feel well, the condition is under good control, and you have an adequate hemoglobin level and your temperature is normal when you come to donate, and you meet all other eligibility requirements. I find that very interesting since Lyme disease is a blood disease. And even if your disease was in control, you had no symptoms, you were treated the first 30 days, it's still there. You're just in basically remission. It surprised the crap out of one of my friends. She got it when she was little, and a lot of us were going to go give blood because we have a friend who needs blood. And I was like, dude, you can't give blood. You have Lyme disease. And if you give blood, you're giving a sick person or somebody who needs that blood, that bacteria. And when I realized this, when I was researching, I felt so horrible because I've religiously gave blood since I was 16. And I've been infected since I was 16. They know thus far that it can be transmitted from a mother to a child via cord blood. And why not from blood transfer? Why not would, a blood transfer would be the same thing. So if you have Lyme disease and you're giving blood, you're making somebody sick. And that sucks, because how many people with Lyme disease could give blood? Who would willingly give blood after all that, that they've suffered, that they would want to help somebody? Now I'm going to read you another description, which I was surprised to find. This is a website called DKMS. It is basically a leukemia website to find donors. And their eligibility requirements actually include Lyme disease. And it states, this is reading directly from their eligibility requirements. Lyme disease. Asymptomatic Lyme disease is acceptable if the donor has been treated successfully with antibiotics. Chronic Lyme disease is unacceptable. Now, I still don't believe, personally, that if you have asymptomatic and you were treated within the first 30 days, that you're out of the woods. Because I know people who were out of the woods and it came back. But I was so surprised to find a website that recognizes A, chronic Lyme disease, and B, that it's transferred through blood and bone marrow. It just terrifies me. How well are they checking this blood that they're putting into people? I mean, there's not a test for Lyme disease, not an accurate test for Lyme disease. There are 2 labs in the entire country that have top-of-the-line Lyme testing. One of them is in Florida, and one of them is in California. And the way that they screen it, typical doctors, if they do a screen, they use either the ELSA test, ELS, brain fart test, or they use the Western blot, which isn't very reliable, and to be classified you have to have at least 5 bands, and most people have 2 to 3 bands, and because the little flag doesn't go up on the lab sheets, doctors never tell you, which is why you should always get copies of your labs, because doctors are stupid. They read hundreds of lab reports a day. Why do you think they're going to catch something on yours? Anyway, I just thought this was important for anybody who has Lyme or knows anybody with Lyme. You cannot donate blood, you cannot donate platelets, and you are not eligible to be a bone marrow donor. My next concern, I guess, is organ transplant. Because, like I've said before, there's the heart on my license. It says organ donor. But if I die and somebody takes my heart, which obviously we know has been infected with Lyme, they're not going to test for it. And is it going to make this person sicker down the line? Because obviously they have a lowered immune system because they're on immunosuppressant drugs because they're getting an organ transplant. It's just fucked up. I mean, it's terrifying. We're 15 years behind in research, and this is the next pandemic. Not epidemic, pandemic. And we're spreading it every day. I just had to get that off my chest. And I hope that it helps somebody at least to be more educated about blood donation, platelet donation, and bone marrow donation, organ transplant. Yeah, I'm hooked up to the thing. I'm always hooked up to the thing. Alright, take care. I came across that information and really wanted to pass it on. See you guys later.